Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Eric, and today I'm doing a quick little overview and review of the newest gun in my collection, the Smith & Wesson 638 airweight revolver, calibered in 38 or 38 plus P. I got this for my birthday from my wife. I just quickly wanted to show you what comes in the box here. We actually have the gun itself, which I'll show you in more greater detail. Comes with one spent bullet casing. I always fire it at the factory. One thing, of course, I'll never use, the little wrenches to activate the key lock on the side of the gun. No thank you. What's the point of a revolver if you can't use it? It's got a safety lock here, which all guns come with, and then your basic owner's manual and safety instructions. But let's take this out and we'll show you the gun here. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted a little revolver like this is because I wanted to have something tiny, something small, something I could carry easily on my person, either around the house or out about, that could provide personal protection. The reason why I went with the revolver is because in my eyes it's a much more reliable choice for a wide variety of reasons. You don't have to worry about it jamming, stovepipes, some of the other things that can and usually do happen with a semi-automatic pistol. This is a Smith & Wesson J Frame, and the J Frame is the smallest frame that Smith & Wesson makes for their revolvers. They first introduced this J Frame in 1952 on a model called the Centennial model, which basically was the exact same size as this gun. The only difference was it didn't have the shrouded hammer like this one had here. It was fully enclosed, and the only way you could fire it was double action only. I'll show you here real quick. It is unloaded. But double action, for those of you who don't know, means you just have to grab the gun and you have to pull the trigger. And on a revolver, for double action, it's a pretty strong trigger pull. It's around 10 to 13 pounds, so it's pretty strong. So the one that they make nowadays that's like this with that enclosed hammer is called the 642. And like I said, double action only, point, pull the trigger. They also make a 637 model, which is just like this, except it has the fully exposed hammer, just like a miniature revolver that you'd see. And then this one, the 638, with the shrouded hammer. One of the reasons why I went with this one instead of the 637, even though this one looks a little goofy, with this shrouded hammer, is because in a conceal and carry type gun, you're usually going to have it on you, either in your pocket, in your jacket, maybe in a holster in your waistband, what have you. And if you're trying to retrieve it and draw it fastly, having that exposed hammer could cause problems. It could get stuck on a piece of your clothing, on your belt loop, on your shirt, and then you pull the gun out and all of a sudden it's cocked. And now, of course, when it's cocked, it's in single action fire mode, and the slightest little bump on that trigger and the bullet's going to come out. So this is kind of the best of both worlds, because having this shrouded hammer, nothing's going to snag this. In fact, it's a little difficult. You really have to pull your finger back on this to kick it back, and you can see now the trigger pulls back in the single action mode, and now it's just a very lightweight thing to shoot it off. So you can use the double action in an emergency, but if you have to make a longer shot or you're practicing at the range, it certainly comes in handy to have the option to pull the hammer to put it in single mode. So let me show you a little bit closer view of the gun, and I'll show you some of the things I like about it, as well as some of the things I don't like about it. All right, guys, I just wanted to show you a quick comparison to my other Smith & Wesson revolver. This is the 586, also 38 plus P, 357, but similar caliper size. This doesn't shoot to 357, but it does the 38P. And you can see what a difference in the size if you just wanted to kind of do a little comparison here to the size of the gun. It's this obviously is a much heavier gun and much harder to conceal, where this is a much smaller, lighter weight gun. So I just wanted to kind of bring that out to kind of show you guys. Now, one thing I added to this one is the Crimson Trace laser grip. I purchased this online on Amazon. The regular gun does not come with it, And as you can see right here, it's got a little on-off switch on the bottom here, but there's a little laser here. Now, the reason I felt that was necessary is because you can see the sights here, and I'll tell you right now, I used some of my wife's red nail polish, because normally this doesn't have any color whatsoever, and these sights really aren't that good. You can see here, at least with the red, I could kind of see it. When it wasn't painted red, it was very difficult to get a sight picture because it all kind of blended together. But then again, that's one of the sacrifices you're making on a snub-nose revolver. This isn't really intended for long distance shooting, but at least in a daylight scenario, that gives me a little bit better aim picture with that red on there. So that's one of the things I dislike about the small revolvers, is that little. Now you can see here, as I mentioned earlier, you can see the difference in the color. This part here is the aluminum alloy frame, and then the only part that's stainless steel is the cylinder and the barrel, and the part right here that holds it all in place. So you can see also right here, Smith & Wesson 38 plus P. But anyway, one of the reasons I thought the laser was necessary was because most of the time I would maybe carry this around in my pocket at night around the house, you know, to protect ourselves. If someone came in the house, a burglary, what have you. And it's very hard. You know, this gun is mainly intended for very close quarters, you know, within 7 to 15 feet. Anything further than that, with this little tiny barrel here, it's going to be very hard to get an accurate sight picture or shoot it accurately at all, as I found out the first time I went to the range. So with this laser here, you can see there's a little on-off, so you can turn it off when you don't want it on. I turned it on now, and there's a little tiny button here, and you can see on my hand here, that's the laser's going off. I'll show you here. It kind of shows you there. So it's very nice to have because you don't really have to think about it. You grab this gun, and the way your hand comes around normally, you're going to pull that button, and it's going to shoot that little laser there for you, which gives you a nice opportunity to, you know, at least shine it and have a good intention of where you're going to fire it, where it's going to hit. Sometimes that in itself might be a huge deterrent. I know if I was in a situation and someone was pointing a gun at me at night and all of a sudden I saw a little red bead of light, you know, shine on my shirt or my jacket, I would know immediately that was a laser from a gun, and I would get the hell out of there as quickly as possible. Some other things to tell you about, obviously, this is mainly intended for personal protection, something you would carry, like I mentioned before. One of the disadvantages compared to a semi-auto is that it only takes 5 shots. You know, you can carry one of those barrel-type reloaders. I prefer the strips because the bullets stay in there nice. You can put this flat in your pocket and, you know, at least gives you 5 additional shots in the event that you need it. These right here are hollow points in the 38 plus P. I also have some full metal jacket with the power strip as well. So either one of those would work. I would obviously recommend the 38 plus P if you're going to be using it for, you know, home protection, defense, what have you. One thing that surprised me a little bit, because I'm so used to shooting my 5.86 revolver, which I'm very accurate even at longer distances, mainly because, you know, that 4-inch barrel. These little snub nose with this short barrel, extremely hard to shoot accurately at long distances. It can be done, but it requires practice. And if you're shooting some, you know, pretty strong bullets, some plus P rounds, this is, being that it's only 15 ounces in weight, you're going to get quite some kickback. So I learned that the first time when I went to the range, you know, after shooting around 50, 60 rounds, your hand starts to hurt. In fact, my wife got a big blister right here in her hand from shooting it because it had such a huge kickback that we both weren't used to because of such a small grip and shooting such a powerful round from such a lightweight gun. One of the reasons, like I said, so you really need to practice. You need to practice both single and double action to get a little bit more proficient in using it. For the value, I think it's a great gun. You know, the Smith and quality of Smith and Wesson, the quality is superb. You don't have anything to worry about. Like I said, there's that little key lock I was pointing out earlier, which would lock the mechanism so you wouldn't be able to pull the trigger. But you know, very simplistic. One of the drawbacks with this smaller barrel here is that when you push the ejection rod, sometimes it doesn't push it far enough to drop the bullets out. So sometimes you have to kind of tilt it back and kind of let gravity assist you in having those bullets pop out. And of course, it takes a little bit longer to load, even if you're using a speed strip compared to just slamming another clip in a semi-auto. But again, they say most encounters with people with personal protection guns, they're usually never firing more than 2 or 3 shots in most scenarios. So most of the time, 5 shots, particularly if it's a strong caliber like a 38 plus P, is probably going to be more than enough to get the job done. But you know, having a couple of these in your pocket in the event you might need it, the only drawback is you're going to need a few seconds to, you know, empty the bullets out of the cylinder and get some new ones in there. But with practice, you can get pretty proficient as that as well. One of the reasons, like I said, durability, reliability. That's why I like these little revolvers. They're very easy to use. A couple different holster options I'll show you right now. I have a couple different holsters from it. One I have is this called the sticky holster. And this has got a weird material on the outside that actually sticks to your clothing. So in this case, you could slide this revolver in here, and I could stick this in my jacket, you know, or in my front jean pocket. And it's very concealable, it's very small. And when I need to pull it out, this sticky thing on the outside of the holster is going to hold that in my pants, and just the weapon's going to come out. So this is a very nice option to have. I also have another type of holster. This one right here, it's a Concealment Express, a molded Kydex holster, and this has got a little clip on it, and this is intended for inside the waistband. And you can see how this one works here. I'll show you. You can actually hear it. It's molded specifically for this gun. So you're going to slide that in, and you'll hear it when it clicks in. It's locked in there, see? I can't get it out when I shake it like that. So this is a nice option to have as well, because you can just clip this inside your pants, your jeans, and have the gun rest against your body. And this is the only thing that's exposed, but usually you'll have a shirt that'll cover that. And this is a very effective way to carry this gun as well in a concealed type scenario. Another one I haven't used yet, as far as another type of holster, is the ankle holster. I got one of these very inexpensively. I think it cost me like 20 bucks. But this just has Velcro here, and it's got a little Velcro strap to keep it, you know, you stick it in like so. You can do that to kind of hold it in place. And now this simply wraps around your ankle. And then you can put your pant leg over it. And like I said, it's so lightweight, it's 15 ounces. You're not even going to really know it's there after a few minutes. And once you have a little bit of practice, experience carrying it, it'll just become second nature. You won't even feel it. So, only been to the range one time to fire this weapon, like I said, with my wife, and it beat us up a little bit because we weren't used to it. I haven't been to the range yet to check out the laser. I have to kind of fine-tune that laser. It's got some adjustments here with an Allen wrench. You can either adjust up and down or left to right. They say it comes right out of the box for 50 feet. That might be a little too much distance. I don't think in most scenarios I'd be firing this at a 50-foot distance. It's probably best to be fired, you know, within 25 feet or less, or certainly something in close quarter combat where you're trying to protect yourself from someone. So, you know, in summary, this is my little Smith & Wesson 638 revolver. I absolutely love it. I love the quality. I'm looking forward to getting on the range and trying the laser and seeing how it does, fine-tuning it. And you know, check out, subscribe to my channel. Next time I go to the range, I'll definitely bring this with and try to film how that shoots with the laser, and I'll have those videos coming soon. So like the video, subscribe, and thanks for watching.